Those from the Horn of Africa, Somalia, Sudan.
Cradle of civilization.
Yeah, still looks like the cradle. 606,000 to 1.14 million euros they take over the course of their lifetime from the taxpayer. You know, to start off, that illegal aliens cost American taxpayers, you, the American worker, $151 billion to $450 billion per year. I've hammered this point because back when I did Change My Mind on Build the Wall, it was $116 billion, and that was kind of up for debate. The low end is $151 billion, up to $450 billion. Let's split it, $350, $400 billion, okay? Here's the thing, that's in the United States. The left is going to try and gaslight you, check the references, don't allow them to do it. These numbers, though, are very, very consistent across the Western world. And I also want to point out some trends, because I think a lot of people are maybe a little afraid to address this, but it's something that we all know. So Western nations across the world, some East Asian ones too, they're now seeing the real-time effects, while your representatives tell you that this is simply racism to notice them, real-time effects of unchecked and orchestrated immigration.
Wesh. Ouais! Mais ça va pas?
Immediate death.
Dead.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Done.
That's a friend of the show, Brianna Morello. Followed by a creep, and then you don't see it. She pulls a gun out.
Potentially.
Yeah, no.
And allegedly. A national inquiry Keir Starmer did not want.
Tabloid Rand Paul.
Just stabbing the police officer.
Yep.
I believe he died. They died.
Felix Rojas was taken into custody last night. The 44-year-old is accused of having sexual contact with an unresponsive man aboard an R train.
Now, I know that you'll say, well, those are anecdotes, right? That's just sort of these headlines that you see, right? Click. Okay, I understand that. But if you're going to make that argument, wouldn't we also have to agree that those on the left telling you that actually immigrants make our nations great, we are a nation of immigrants, actually they're a net positive, that when they make these statements, they're usually making them from a place of anecdotal evidence, or some might refer to them as lies as well?
Immigrants have done so much for America.
Immigrants make our country better.
We respect the beautiful diversity of America, how we respect the fact that immigration is the constant reinvigoration of America.
Immigrants own small businesses, they till the land, they care for children and the elderly, they work in our labs, attend our universities, and serve in our military.
Canada's biggest cities are still welcoming the most immigrants, newcomers giving the labor force a boost as the country overall keeps aging.
A path toward citizenship for all of the 11 million who are undocumented. That is what the people of our country want.
Unity in diversity. In just 3 words, they summed up our union's raison d'être.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. How can you have unity with someone who doesn't share anything in common with you? It can happen, but as a general rule, in your interpersonal relationships, are you closest with people who don't share your values, who don't share the same language, who have no connection to your culture, who might as well be from another planet? Are those your best interpersonal relationships? Then why do we think we would function as a society? And I'm glad that we've sort of moved past this. The left screamed racism so much that it's lost all meaning. They're the boy who cried racism. We now see the results are in. And they're in time after time after time. Of course, you can't have unity with orchestrated diversity. It's not possible.
No, it's not possible. And if you don't have common ground, like a common culture, values to pull from, sometimes like a common enemy can bring people together. Here's the only problem. They view us as the enemy.
Yes, that's a very
So we
good
don't
point.
have a common enemy. You don't have anything to fight together to bring us closer together. You just want to fight us.
Yeah.
And destroy our culture.
That's true. Well, certainly people who want to establish a foreign caliphate.
Yes.
And then you have people coming from third world countries who very often harbor anti-American sentiment. And the thought is, well, at least we can go to the United States and fleece them and take advantage of the country. So here's a study that's going viral right now. It's not a new study, but people are becoming aware of it. It comes from the Netherlands, and it went through the financial contributions of immigrants. Okay, so what are the results? Well, spoiler alert, Western and East Asian immigrants, mainly places like Japan, Taiwan, Korea, they contribute. Other groups of people, pretty much everybody else, does not. They take and they don't give back. So let me give you some examples. Please check the references. Here are some examples for you. As far as lifetime contributions. So the people, the groups that make positive contributions to the country where they immigrate to. So North American immigrants, 203,000 euros over their lifetime to 521,000. Scandinavian, 208,000 to 506,000 euros. Japanese, 194,000 to 477,000. Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, about 14,000 to 39,000 over their lifetime. The only immigrants from anywhere in that region of the world, Israeli, 58,000 to 121,000. This is the net positive, what they contribute, and just to break that down, that means they come to a country, they pay taxes, they contribute, they work, right? They have purchasing power that they do. They largely exercise it on the books. Okay? Please check those numbers. Here are the groups of people who are a net negative. Anyone want to guess? Pause it. Don't cheat. Comment below. Who's coming from India?
No.
Come on.
Net negative 27 to 56,000 over their lifetime, meaning they take from the taxpayer. People coming from China, Mongolia, North Korea, net negative. They take 47 to 84,000. These numbers are in euros. From Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, and Iraq, negative 418,000 to 637,000 euros over their lifetime.
Wow.
Those from the Horn of Africa, Somalia, Sudan.
Cradle of civilization.
Yeah, still looks like the cradle. 606,000 to 1.14 million euros they take over the course of their lifetime from the taxpayer.
Wow.
So on the positive, you have North American, you have Scandinavian, Japanese, you have Korean, Taiwan, you have Israeli. And on the net negative, anyone surprised that it's India, China, Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, Iraq, Somalia, Sudan? Are you seeing a common thread here? I don't think that this surprises anybody, especially with Japan, because they are a country with a culture that is largely known for its work ethic.
A great adventure awaits you. If you work hard and respect the local culture, a great reward awaits you. When healthy, work hard. When sick, work hard. Always work hard. No rest. Rocky number 8, 23, 42, 48, 67. Get back to work. Ancient Confucius say, watch your butthole because a chariot is gay. Hey, watch out, the chariot.
Yeah, look. And to those of you saying, hey, Japanese fortune cookie is Chinese, granted, that one may have been racist.
Hey, they did it first.
Yeah,
is what I
exactly.
heard. That's a traditional Japanese rice patty hat, too.
And this is why, by the way, we're so grateful for Rumble. Once upon a time, you would not be able to discuss this on YouTube. We've had videos removed, entire episodes suspended. So please, the best way to stay in touch, download the Rumble app. It's great on mobile. You can listen to it. You can listen to audio while not playing the video, locking your phone. And follow me there. Follow me on the Rumble app. We're live weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, but sometimes we do some special streams. You won't be flooded with a bunch of crap you don't want. Let's dig a little deeper here in these studies. So generally speaking, the more Protestant or Protestant adjacent the immigrant, the more likely they are to contribute. Mm-hmm. So if you compare, for example, like to Protestant Europeans, most other groups, they contribute quite a bit less. So like African, Islamic, net negative of 296,000 euros. Orthodox, net negative 134,000 euros. Catholic Europeans, in comparison to Protestant Europeans, net negative 85,000 euros. Confucian Asia, it's sort of an outlier because it depends on the region. China's a big country. Net positive, I believe, about 30,000.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, this is not to take a dump at all on Catholics or Orthodox. It's that a lot of people who come from Catholicism, they come from countries where it's maybe a state-enforced denomination. For example, that was the case where I was raised in Quebec. Orthodox, you're going to have a lot of lazy Greeks. And then you will also have a lot of, by the way, Armenians who have been actual refugees. Like, they were genocided before it was cool.
Right.
They've been dealing with people who try to wipe them out quite a bit. So also, it tends to lend itself to respecting authority a little more than the basis of Protestantism.
Right. A little bit of culture. I love the next point is that basically when you account for education, it actually minimizes some of the differences in all of these categories, except for Islamic categories.
Except for African Islam.
It just sucks. I'm sorry. It's just not a contributor.
Across the board.
Everywhere.
Islamic and particularly African Islamic immigrants are a net drain on society big time. Best case scenario, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars over the lifetime.
Yes.
So let's just say you were an autistic alien who literally was colorblind and you're beep, 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 going through numbers, right? And you had to balance the budget. You would look at this and without realizing it, you would eliminate immigration from Islamic countries in Africa. You would eliminate it.
Yes.
It'd be gone. And this is across the board. Well, why do you think that is? It's 2025 there too. And here's the thing, if we look at this, people who come to the West for labor, they tend to contribute a net positive, right? They tend to be a net contributor depending on the region. So if you look at North America, you look at East Asia, you look at people who are families immigrating, and this is kind of a tough, it's a bitter pill to swallow because we have a heart for, these families are leaving these crap hole countries, and you're not supposed to say crap hole, but also say you have to take everyone from the crap holes because our heart goes out to them. People who are seeking asylum, pretty much always massive drains on Western society. Almost invariably. Let's go to some other case studies. References available. Case study number 1, Somalis in the UK. So let me give you some numbers here too, not just the financial numbers. But this is why you're seeing backlash, as the left might refer to it. I would just say sort of returning to our roots of having some kind of standardized immigration, having expectations of people who want, if you want to get into a really cool party, do you think it's too much to ask that you dress decently? That you show up groomed? Right? That you're in other words, it's a closed door party. Usually you have to meet some requirements, some expectations. This is the greatest country in the world. And even though I think Europe is largely, at this point, it's largely comprised of faggots, but it's still better than Somalia. It's still better than Zambia. It's still better than Syria. If you want to go there, why is it such a problem to meet some expectations? Let's look at this case study, Somalis in the UK. Guess what percentage of Somalis in the UK are proficient in English, meaning can actually operate in the UK?
English in England?
8%.
Ooh.
Man. You know what I call that? Entitlement.
I call that a return trip home.
Yes, exactly. But seriously, you're going to go to a country, England, and not speak English. Well, it must not be worth a whole lot to you, so don't be upset when they deport your ass. Guess how many Somalis in the UK attain some kind of full-time employment?
Half.
That'd be a fair guess. You're very generous.
Really?
Well, it's because of your newfound wealth. 10%. 10%.
Is it shocking?
8% of Somalis in the UK are proficient in English. 10% attain some full-time employment. What do you think? Hey, what do you think a Somali immigrant in the UK who cannot speak English, who does not have any sort of full-time gainful employment, and by that I mean 90% of Somalis in the UK, what do you think happens? What do you think they contribute? What do you think they do with their time? I'll tell you, guess what percentage of them abuse drugs? 77%.
Wow. I was going to say volunteering at the food shelter.
Yeah, I know. Turns out they're not as charitable either.
No?
77% drug abusers. living in government housing, 72%.
Wow.
Think about that. That's case study number. Let's go to case study number 2. Palestinians in Denmark. This came from a study from 1992. There were 321 Lebanese Palestinians who were granted residency. By the year 2020, 204 out of 321 were convicted of crimes. 67 of them were sentenced to prison. And here's the thing. People say, well, those are just people. They don't know any better, right? They're coming. It's not an excuse, but a lot of people think if you're a generation removed, no. Here's where you see the problem when you don't share values, when it's a diversity of values. They instill these values in their children. So you go to the next generation, 337 out of the 999 children of these immigrants were convicted of crimes. 132 of them sentenced to prison.
Why would you ever let people in ever again like that?
Why do we?
I 100% agree, but Europe has been doing it to themselves for decades now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a study, too, by the way, that was kind of difficult to find. They want this buried.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Gosh. So now what we've presented, I believe, 2 or 3 or 4 studies. I don't know, I'm not keeping track. Let's go to another case study here. Illegal migrants in the U.S. Depending on the state, and this is something the left will often tell you, they'll say, actually, they're more law-abiding. No, we're talking about illegal immigrants. They're about 1.5 to 5.4 times more likely to be incarcerated than native-born American citizens. Not to mention the fact that, of course, they cost the taxpayer $150 billion to $450 billion per year. So let's kind of go through it. Let's wrap this all up. Netherlands, okay? You look at this and you go, all right, these people are net drains to society of hundreds of thousands to over $1 million over the course of their lifetime. And then you look at the UK, 90% of Somali immigrants in the UK don't speak English, don't work full time, but the vast majority of them are drug abusers, live in government housing. Then you look at Denmark and you go, well, anywhere from 1/4 to 1/3 of them are convicted of crimes or put in prison, and the numbers don't get that much better for the kids that they have. And the left's solution to all of this is a pathway to citizenship. And if you point out what your lion eyes and your lion ears tell you, well, you must be racist. So in concluding this segment, it seems like we're never going to find some common ground. I guess, happy Diwali!
Close enough. He's not moving for the dot. The dot will move for him.
What did it not?
It was right here. It was close.
That almost just seems like a laser sight.
No, it was more like here. It kind of looked like a clown nose.
Wow, that's fun.
But that is fun.
That's more fun than Diwali.
Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something is missing by now. I'm not here. That's because the Live Daily Show is now streaming exclusively on Rumble weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tune in there, where nothing is censored.